Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. Everyone's doing well. The week went well. Ready for the weekend. I don't know what you guys have planned, but I will be chilling with the dogs. They came home yesterday, so that's been fun. Missed them like crazy, but they're getting used to their new environment, so it's a bit of a challenge. They gotta learn the boundaries here, you know. I guess that comes with any new situation, right? So they are not immune. All right, let's see if we can get some energies for today. All right, well, we got Ace of Cups in reverse and Three of Swords in reverse. So what was new is no longer new, and it's no longer painful. So guys, sometimes when we start something new, you go through the growing pains, right? Like I was just saying with the dogs being home, they've got to learn the new boundaries. They've got to learn the new situation. They've got to understand what they can and can't do in the new environment. So it's the same in relationships, right? Which cups would be relationships. You know, it's all these different species of fish trying to figure their way out. And it doesn't have to be painful. It does not all have to be painful. It's sorry guys. It's the boundaries of a new relationship, I think, is what this boils down to. It's recovery, right? Recovery after loss and healing. And then this could be let's see, in the cheat sheet it says being let down, depressed, and disappointed. Maybe you're disappointed. Maybe you're disappointed in the new thing. I don't necessarily feel that, but it could be the disappointment of letting the old thing go, right? Maybe that's where the disappointment is, because something new came in. You have to give yourself that time to mourn the loss of what was, and the apology and the recovery and the healing from it, right? You got to give yourself time to get over it, if you will. I feel like that's what this is. Oh, my dogs are home, so they should be part of the readings here pretty soon. They just hit my table and almost spilled my coffee. But if you think about excuse me, think about the new relationship that's no longer new, right? Shiny new toy syndrome, if you will, that gets loses its shine, if you will. And healing, giving yourself time to heal. So maybe the new situation gives you the time to heal, or maybe it gives you the time to mourn the old, or whatever. Either way, it's a period of recovery, right? It's a period of love for yourself. You know, cups is love, and maybe it's holding those cups back. Maybe it's holding that love back and trying to just give yourself that time to heal and recover, right? We go through cycles. There's cycles of the moon. I had a poster about it, but I don't know where it went. Some of my stuff is just still packed and whatnot, and I don't necessarily know where it all is. But you think about the moon, the phases of the moon, right? You have the waning, which is when it's emptying out. My dad would call it the cup is emptying its emotions out, if you will. And then there's the waxing, when it is filling up, you know, and that goes from the new moon to the full moon. And waning would be full moon to new moon. So you have, oh, Jesus, right here. So, full moon, right? So when it's filling up this way, it is waxing. When it is emptying out this way, it's waning. So if you've ever heard waxing and waning, that's what those mean. Yeah, so that's the period that we're in. Maybe we're in a new moon period. We just had a new moon in Aries. And maybe this period of your energy is that of the new moon, where you're just kind of in the void, right? In the absence of whatever, and giving yourself time to heal. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You got to give yourself that time. And you got temperance in reverse. So you're being a little impatient about it. Expecting that things are going to be perfect on day one. That's never the case. Expecting that my dogs are going to acclimate and understand what they can and can't chew on or can and can't touch immediately off the rip is silly. It's just silly, right? It's unlearning and then relearning, unlearning and relearning, and tempering your emotions and allowing those things to be not to be, but to take the time that it needs, right? It's right now it's disruptive, it's change, and it's kind of a little chaotic, and that's okay. You have this time to heal, but you also have this time to learn your emotions, learn what they feel like, and you don't know what good is until you know what bad is, and that might be that this is this bit of chaos, this bit of disruptive energy that's allowing you to see what the sorry guys, to see what the good energy feels like, right? All these situations you have to just figure them out, right? Let's see, Nine of Wands, putting down burdens and putting up boundaries. So Nine of Wands typically for me is the boundaries card. It is a test of courage, if you will, persistence. He's going it alone, but he's putting up, it's funny because these boundaries are actually lighting the way, if you look at it that way. And this one is not lit up yet, but he's got it in his hand because he lights it up, right? He sets that boundary. He sets the path. He understands that it's coming from him. He carries it on his shoulders. He carries that burden. And maybe you're looking at that as a burden, right? Maybe finding your path and healing and tempering your emotions and all that's chaos. It's chaotic because it's new. When things are new, they can feel chaotic. They can feel a little dysregulated. And, they say that saying, what is it? This too shall pass. And I used to think, what a cliche, and it is cliche, right? But it's very true in some ways. It's funny, a lot of the things that I think are goofy, cheesy cliches are actually true. There's a girl in therapy the other day. I won't tell you her name because of confidentiality, but beautiful young woman. She's probably, 20, 22. And she was doing, was it her goals or her schedule or something like that? She said every night, she goes, and I write that cheesy gratitude list. And we all kind of just paused. So at the end, I piped up and I said, I hope you don't mind me saying, but I don't think that's cheesy. I don't think it's cliche. I don't think it's goofy, right? And everybody else in the room was like, yeah, she's right. That's not cheesy. That's not goofy. But we've been conditioned to believe that these things are. So they may feel chaotic, right? They may feel like you're a little out of sorts, like you're on the edge of the volcano and you're walking a fine line. But these cheesy, cliche type things are really true. And it's okay. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to downplay them because of what other people think, right? You really don't. So when I say this too shall pass, it will. Everything changes, guys. There's cycles. They change constantly. And do you want to repeat them? Do you want to live the same lesson over and over again? Or, sorry guys, my dogs were running around last night and everything on my altar fell. I was not happy. But, they're dogs. What are you going to do? Anyway, yeah, so the cheesy cliche things they don't have to be, you don't have to apologize for them, but they are still true. 10 of Cups, ultimate happiness, mini sun card. Look at this. This is just abundance and love. It's a community. Everybody's sharing. It looks like they're bartering. People are happy, and it's, look at the diversity. It's different people coming together to, Stella, get down. Stella wants to make an appearance. I know you guys missed the dogs, didn't you? I did. and now they're fighting over my attention. But this is diversity in the community, and it's sharing love, sharing food, sharing. Think about sharing food. Okay, I want to talk about this for a minute because I'd really been trying to figure this out, and maybe you guys can comment below and you tell me what you think. All right, guys, that's enough. You're hitting the camera. Go lay down. Go lay down. But the idea of sharing a meal with someone, right? So this was in the movie Raya, or Raya, the Last Dragon, however you want to say. I think it's Raya, but either way, tomato, tomato. In the beginning, their plan to build peace, to build a bridge, to reconcile the two villages, they do it over a meal, right? And if you think about it, even Thanksgiving, what's Thanksgiving, right? What is that celebrating? The Indians and the Pilgrims came together to share a meal. There's something magical about sharing a meal with someone. And, that's what this community is doing. They're sharing the meal. They're putting down, healthy boundaries. Maybe it's a little chaotic. Maybe it takes a little time for this thing to come together. Maybe figure things out, the period of rest and recovery. Feeling a little out of sorts, if you will. But share a meal. That's all you got to do. Share a meal. That's like step one. And even if you think about it, like I have some friends that we have family dinner every Saturday. We haven't done it in a while because everybody's schedules have been a little bit off. But, I actually want to reach out and say we should make the time. Like, that's the point. Because when you have that sense of community, when you have that sense of camaraderie, when you have that sense of family, it doesn't have to be blood. It doesn't have to be DNA. Family is more than just blood. I think a friend of mine sent me a quote in like TikTok or something where it said, the Bible says that blood is thicker than water, and it is the blood, I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to try anyway. Those people that you choose, the covenant is in blood, right? The agreement is in blood. You would die for someone, that person is your family. And that feeling, that camaraderie is thicker than water. The water being, I don't know, the amniotic fluid, the family water, the emotions, etc. I told you I was going to butcher it, but maybe I'll find it and post it. But it's understanding that your people are your people. Like we talked about yesterday with the dinosaurs. Your people are your people. It doesn't mean that other types of people aren't going to come along your path and help you along your way, but they're temporary, right? Even at the end of the movie of The Land Before Time, I mean, they all went to their own kind, trying to find their own kind of dinosaur. And they were a family of misfits, if you will, while they were trying to find that. But once they found it, yeah, maybe they got together once in a blue moon, but they didn't live 24/7 with Ducky and Littlefoot, and I can't remember the other names of the characters. But, the majority of their time was spent with their own kind. And they honored, they're grateful, and they continued to have love for each other, but it wasn't 24/7. And that's okay. That's okay. People are just, not everybody's going to be your kind of people. And so you're going to want to surround yourself and spend time with those that are. Can I get Mermaid Oracle for advice, please? Mermaid Oracle for advice? Mermaid Oracle for advice, please. Mermaid Oracle for advice. I will have to pick that up. Awareness. Being aware. Looking behind you. Look at her. She's looking back. And she is understanding what she went through and what it means. And she's smiling about it, right? She's not upset about the lessons. She's actually grateful for them. She's very... Stop, you guys. Dogs are going nuts, guys. I'm so sorry. But she's looking back with fondness, looking back with gratitude, with love, and understanding. Maybe she's understanding. Maybe this is Littlefoot looking back at Ducky. Like, I'm aware that you helped me. I'm aware that you were a part of my journey. And I will always honor and love you for that. But that doesn't mean you're in my life every day. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing saying that that has to be the case. You know, we let things go with love, gracefully. My therapist, as a matter of fact, is leaving April 7th. And he made the announcement, oh, hi guys, get down, get down, get down. Thank you. Made the announcement he's leaving April 7th. And it was shocking. You know, everybody in the class was like, oh my God, like, what are we going to do now? We finally find this therapist that makes us feel safe, where we can go 9 hours a week and share our most vulnerable pieces of ourselves and learn to emotionally regulate. And now you're leaving? Like, what is that? What is that? But it's a lesson in grace. It's a lesson in letting things go with love. His time at that facility is over. I think there's a few people that are actually planning to leave as a result of that, but it was discussed in the lobby. I don't think I'm going to, because I feel like it's a lesson for me, a lesson in letting things go gracefully and not feeling rejected and not feeling like it has anything to do with me. He's leaving for his own reasons. It has nothing to do with me. You know, why would I think that? So it's just a matter of being aware that him leaving, A, has nothing to do with me, B, might be a soul lesson for me, and C, am I going to pass? Because I don't want to repeat this stuff, guys. You know, if you can't heal these wounds of abandonment and attachments and whatnot, then the universe just keeps giving you lessons about it. You know, if you have an abandonment issue, it's going to keep giving you people that will abandon you. If you have a trust issue, it'll keep giving you people you can't trust or can, you know, just whichever. However you're being presented the lesson. And the trick is to find it, right? Find it. What is the lesson? We talked yesterday about soul contracts and how that line in the movie that I had attached to, I'm all alone in the world, I am. I don't want to be alone in the world. So understand that my subconscious is repeating that over and over and over again, and making a conscious decision every day to not be that, to not honor that, to break that contract. You know, there's things, think about it, guys. Think about your favorite line from a movie, your favorite line from a book, your favorite line from a song, your most vivid memory of being a child. There's going to be some clues in there as to what your soul contracts are. Be aware of them. Be aware of them, and then break them. Keep them if you want, but if it's not something you want, break them. Cancel them. You know, there's little rituals you can do. And it has to be nothing more than in your head saying no more. I mean, it doesn't take anything more than that. It can be a really big ritualistic ceremony, or it can be as small as waking up and saying, not today. Not today. I'll do that tomorrow. Because you know why? Tomorrow never comes. Think about people who quit smoking. I'll quit tomorrow. They never quit. 30 years goes by and they've still never quit because they're quitting tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Your soul knows that. Your subconscious knows that. So when you tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow, it never gets done. You got to get up and do it today, or not do it today, as the case may be. So let's get a magic card, just because it's Saturday and it's magical. Magic card for today, please. Magic card for today. What kind of magic is in our sights today? Goddess, healing feminine energy. Beautiful. Goes right with our reading today. Feminine energy is the receiving. It's resting. It's allowing. You know, the masculine side is very action oriented. The feminine side is just very like, okay, whatever happens, happens. And I like the moons in there. I really do. Be a goddess, guys. Find your inner goddess today. Be aware of it. Allow it. And give yourself that time. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. And we will talk in a minute. Much love and light. Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry, Saturday. Pajama day. So what can I say? We had a lot of stuff going on today because we had the dogs back. So there was a lot of different things within the reading. we talked about them getting used to their new environment, right? And growing pains. So I started thinking about what growing pains mean, right? So as a Coda, as a child, when you're growing, you know, physically growing, you get physical growing pains. I can remember feeling like your legs hurt, your arms hurt, your back hurt, whatever, because everything's growing, right? And it's painful when that happens. When we get into our spirituality, it's painful to grow. And we have to go through those growing pains spiritually. And because it's an emotional growth, it's going to be an emotional pain, right? And we talked about getting over it, right? Think about getting over it. So you're climbing the mountain, you have to get over the top. There was even a movie, I think, called Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. And if you think even about the movie, you know, it was about the struggle and winning and coming over the top, right? You have to move your hand over the top to win the arm wrestling thing. But when I was talking about the get over it part, my dogs almost spilled my coffee, if memory serves, right? Dakota wants out. She's going to get over it. And then I talked about the cheat sheet and looking up on the cheat sheet for the card and how you have to mourn, you know, that which you've lost. Maybe not lost, but that which is gone. I don't want to say lost because nothing's ever really lost. I don't know where it is. It's not like you don't know where it is. Well, maybe sometimes it is. Anyway, I don't want to get on a tangent. At that point, I was talking about mourning the loss. And I thought, mourn, what about mourn, like mourning, right? Think about mourning. It's that period, that void, when you respect and remember and honor. We can do that every morning when we wake up. Take 2 minutes in the morning. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a full-blown meditation. Reflect. Remember. Respect. The 3 R's. That's gonna be a new thing. The 3 R's. Reflect, remember, and respect. At one point, I was talking about new is not new anymore, and then I sneezed. New always becomes old, and old things can become new. You know, you can refurnish. So we talk about reflect, respect, remember, and refurnish. All R's, R-E, right? Repeat, repeating cycles. We talked about that a lot. At one point I talked about the moon, and I was looking for a specific poster that described the moon phases. And the whole time, never even realizing it was right in front of me and on that little cardboard thing. And, you know, how many times in our lives are we looking for a specific thing? You know, we've got this picture of what it looks like, this very specific thing in our minds, and we look for that and don't even realize that whatever it is we're looking for is contained within something else right in front of us, because we're always looking for that box, always looking for the thing that represents it for us. R-E again. See what the R-E's today. I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting how I did that. Like I literally, physically, tangibly showed you how things are right in front of you. You just don't recognize them because of the box that they're in. I did say when I picked it up and it was right in front of me, I go, oh, Jesus, right? Why Jesus? I never say that. So, like a subconscious, what do you call it? Recognition of where it came from. Show the gratitude, right? Show the gratitude. I talked about, my dad was the one that talked about the moon, when it's waning, the cup is emptying out, right? I had never heard that before until I was in Maine with my dad. And I thought it was really cool because that's how they used to tell the weather. That was the story he was telling me when he said that the cup is emptying, right? The rain's going to come. And when it's filling up, you know, you're waiting for the rain. It's not going to rain. So, you know, the moon can tell us a lot of things. It can tell us the weather. Now, we've talked before, and I don't know if I've talked about it recently, but the weather is your environment, right? And there's this global warming and all this stuff, and they talk about people controlling the weather. You can control your weather That's your energy, your environment. You have control over that. I think I talked a couple weeks ago about how I used to think like when I had a big spiritual level up, it would get really windy out. Yesterday I had some huge epiphanies. Thank you, Sarah. We talked most of the morning, and just some serious soul contrast, serious shadow work. I mean, this shit, guys, it will hit you from, you know, from behind, out of left field. And we got done, and I walked outside, guys. Now it was fine. The weather was fine all morning. I walked outside. It was snowing. And then it snowed off and on all day. It was the weirdest phenomenon in my world, anyway. I don't know if that happened to you guys, but pay attention to those kind of things. You know, the moon has phases. It affects the tide. It's going to affect you because you have water within your body. Start journaling your feelings. I've noticed that a Scorpio new moon and me are not friends. If there's a Scorpio new moon coming, I am like head for the hills, because it doesn't, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. It doesn't sit well with me. I get very scattered and in my energy, and I get very cranky, for lack of a better way to say it. So pay attention to your moon phases, right? And see how those affect you. You know, is it waxing? Is it waning? Whatever. We talked about the new moon in Aries that we had just had when I was talking about the void and the new moon and whatnot. Aries is actually, sorry guys, this necklace is irritating me. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's the baby. When we look at the zodiac, Aries it's all about me, is kind of the catchphrase for an Aries. And not necessarily in a bad way, but they're just they have to, like, my Chiron is an Aries, so I have to be very aware of how I think about myself. You know, I can't define myself by other standards. That's my soul lesson. That's what I came here to learn. It's a lot of codependency. It's a lot of self-worth, self-love wounds that I'm healing for myself. But Aries is all about you and you. You know, and I talk about my readings are very different from most readings, and they're not going to be fortune telling like some readers out there claim it is. It can't be, guys. We have free will. Who can predict that? I'm sorry, you cannot. You can make an educated guess of what the most likely outcome is, but at the end of the day, there's free will. If you go to a tarot reader and they tell you that they're going to tell you the future, I hate to tell you this, but they're wrong. They might. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. They might get it right once in a while. At the end of the day, though, it's just reading energy, and you can do that for yourself. And if you need the extra tools, if you need somebody else to do it for you, that's great. That's no problem. But the way I read you and you. I don't read you with other people. I might read energies around you. I might read how you're affecting that, or they're affecting you, or what lessons they're bringing to you. But it's never about fortune telling. So I just wanted to make that clear. I talked about the void. What is the void? The void. If you think about the Matrix movie, it's that time when Neo is in a completely white room. There's just nothing. There's no energy. There's no reality. There's no chairs. There's no tables. There's no people. There's no city. There's no. It's just the void. And you think about the void, like a void in a grocery store. When you void a check, you've canceled it. So go to the void. Go to that quiet place of nothingness to reset, to cancel those contracts. Okay, we talked about canceling the contracts and what those rituals might be. Go to the void. Void them out. Just write void across the check, across the contract. It is the absence of the contract. I talked about time to acclimate, unlearn and relearn, and I said it twice. Unlearn, relearn, unlearn, relearn. And those are cycles. I mean, that's literally what we do throughout our lives. We have to unlearn what we've been taught. The toxic things, or the things that are not ours. They don't even have to be toxic. They just have to not be yours. And then learn who you are. Learn who you are. Learn what you like. You don't know what you like till you know what you don't like. It's a process, and it never ends. You know, guys, it's a healing process. If somebody tells you they're healed and they're done healing and they've done the work, I hate to tell you, they're lying. If you were done healing and the work was done, you would stop living, because as you live, you create new new things to heal, new things to look at. You know, it's layers of an onion. There's no center of an onion. It becomes a void of an onion. So there's that. I talked about uplifting energy. And then I said, sorry guys. And then I said, see what the good energy is. I said sorry guys twice today. Number 2 was very prominent in the reading today, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then I talked about put down the burdens and put up the boundaries. What if putting up the boundaries is helping you put down the burdens? Maybe the burdens are you have no boundaries. Maybe you say yes constantly when you want to say no. You want to say no? Say no. Say it with love, say it with light, say it assertively, but say it. Don't say yes when you mean no. This took me a really long time to find out. And on the flip side, don't take advantage of someone who can't say no. That's kind of toxic. It's kind of manipulative, if you ask me. So there's that. New equals chaos equals dysregulated. Talk about dysregulated emotions. When you come into those new emotions that you've never allowed yourself to feel, they're going to feel chaotic. You're not going to know what to do with them. You're not going to. So a trick we learned in therapy actually is give yourself 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, however many minutes you think you can handle it, and say, I'm going to sit and hold this emotion for 2 minutes, and I'm going to just feel it. I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm just going to feel it for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to stop and I'm going to analyze it. You know, take a scientific approach to it if you have to. I actually had to do that. So it does kind of work. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's gut-wrenching work. It's shadow work, guys. That's what we do on this channel. We do shadow work. We talked about goals and schedules. So in my therapy class, my group therapy, we do goals and schedules every Tuesday and Thursday. Why do we do that? You know, I mean, what kind of a goal can you have from Tuesday that you have to complete by Thursday? But here's what this does, guys. When you are so overwhelmed that you think you can't accomplish a task or you can't accomplish a goal, you give yourself the small, they're called SMART goals, small, manageable. You have the ability to do them. They're recordable. I'm sure I'm butchering these too, and we'll talk about butcher in a minute. And they're tangible, you know. But sometimes your goal might just be getting out of bed in the morning. And if you can accomplish that goal, then you take the next step, put it to the next level. But goal, and then schedule things, right? If I can keep my dogs on a schedule, then they don't poop in the house. Bottom line. Keep your schedules. Keep the schedule on the weekends. You know, give yourself the one day. I always give myself Sunday when I don't have a schedule. I kind of do because I do a few things in the morning that I'm scheduled to do. But have your morning routines, have your nighttime routines, and keep your schedule. Those things, you know, that Aries energy. What's important to you? Keep those schedules. And this too shall pass. TWO. This number 2 shall pass. Think about that. Interesting. I said sorry again, because I said this too shall pass. Repeat the cycle or, and then I stopped. And I never finished the thought. I said sorry. And then I said, the dogs were kind of messing in the background. I said, what are you going to do? Repeat or, what are you going to do? You guys get to decide. You control the energy. You control the environment. And then I said, tell me what you think. And the dogs hit the camera. When we put that kind of power and control and responsibility on another person, tell me what you think. Why? Have you not decided what you think personally? Do you have to find out what other people think in order to see what you think? Think about that. Make sure you're not doing that, okay? I said tomato, tomato, and the dog started growling. So people are going to say the same thing different ways, right? Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Doesn't mean you have to say it their way. Say it your way. Keep it about you, guys. I talked about things being magical. Sharing a meal is magical. And then I, for some reason, decided we were going to get a magic card today. So there's a lot of magic in the air. You are the magic, guys. You are the magic. You get to decide what's going to happen. You control the weather. You are the magic. It's all about you. Aries energy. I said, sharing mail, it's a time to come together. And then all of a sudden, Dakota's collar jingled. Time to come together. There's a time to come together, and it's time not to be. You know, I talked about my family dinners I have with my girlfriends once a week. We don't do that every day. We do it once a week. We schedule it. It's a goal. It's something I do for me with my tribe. Step one. I said step one. And then the collar jingled again. Take the first step. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And then I said, we should make time. And the dogs again. And then I said, family is more than just blood. The dogs again. I mean, the dogs are on it today. I'll tell you what, guys. All 3 of my dogs are sleeping right now. They're asleep. They're wore out from the reading. They're more part of the reading than I am sometimes. And then I talked about butcher a lot. So think about what a butcher is. A butcher dissects, cuts things up, and then sells off the pieces. Don't butcher yourself, and don't butcher other people. Or don't let them butcher you. Don't let them cut you up into little pieces and sell you off. Okay? And your lessons. Don't butcher your lessons. Don't take one piece of the lesson and miss the whole thing, because it's going to repeat. Get the whole lesson. And that rolls right into grateful for the lessons. When I say be grateful for the lessons, the whole camera moved. I mean, that's confirmation right there. Be grateful for your lessons. And then you don't have to get them anymore. At one point I talked about my therapist making an announcement about leaving on April 7th, and the dogs just like jumped all over my altar. I don't know if April 7th means anything to you, or if there's an announcement that you need to make or is coming on April 7th. I know I just said this is not fortune telling, but a lot of times things like that, it's like, I just stay aware. You know, we even got the awareness card at the end. Be aware. Is there something on April 7th? Is there a significant birthday to you? Is, what is an announcement, wedding announcement, birth announcement, whatever. Just be aware, stay aware, put it in the back of your mind. The dog started playing, and I said, he's leaving for his own reasons. Letting things go with love. Why would I think that it was about me? And the dog started growling. And in fact, I just said that, why would I think it's about me? And Dakota's head just popped up. That's significant, guys. As per usual, the phone rang when I was talking about why would it be all about me. And now my dogs are a little startled, right? The energy shifted. Guys, it's not always about you. I'll tell you a quick story. Quit taking it personally. Carry a Q-tip with you. Tip, T-I-P-P, change your temperature. When you're emotionally dysregulated, throw some cold water on your face. We talked about the cold shower. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Changing your body temperature one way or another is going to help you regulate your emotions. Stop, you guys. And then find the soul contracts, because the clues are there. You know, I mean, look at the moon thing that I went through. I'm looking for something, it's right in front of my face. A lot of times it's going to be right in front of your face. Just like the puppy. Hi. Say hi, Sadie. And then quitting smoking. Why did I choose quitting smoking as the thing that for the tomorrow thing? Maybe because I recently, a year ago, quit smoking cigarettes. I still smoke a vape. I will quit that tomorrow. Or start tomorrow. It's those things that we're so attached to, that we're so addicted to. Nicotine is very highly addictive. And when you're trying to put down those addictions, tomorrow is a thing. Okay, last little bit, we had I said 2022 when I was talking about someone's age, and usually you'd say 2025. I said 2022. What happened last year? Look back at last year. Look back in September or in March, because I talked about 9 hours and 3 days. Something in September or March of 2022 is significant. Try to go back in your memory banks and see what that's all about. We had 2 movies. We had Land Before Time and Raya the Last Dragon. Check those movies out. What they mean, what the core deeper meanings mean to you. You know, I can tell you what they mean to me. It's not going to be what they mean to you necessarily. And then watch your moon phases and pay attention to the time. Pay attention to whatever time of day, maybe, or whatever moon phase with your emotions, and start to journal, and you'll see the patterns, guys. You'll see the patterns. They'll jump out at you. I'm a good coach, and I'm going to try to be a good player. I don't do that yet, but I will start doing that. So I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If you do it, I will. But I'm going to leave it there. So we'll talk soon, guys, on Monday, because tomorrow is Self-Care Sunday. All right. Love you so much. Much love and light.